U.S. bishops from the Midwest are in Rome for meetings with Pope Francis. American church leaders meet with Pope Francis about every 5 years to discuss the state of the church in their regions. Between their various Vatican department meetings, they celebrate Mass every day in one of the major basilicas in Rome. Archbishop Joseph Naumann from the Archdiocese of Kansas City in Kansas joins us now from Rome. Welcome back, Your Excellency. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Tracy. It's a privilege to be with you, your viewers and listeners.
Well, based on your meetings so far at the Vatican, what stands out the most to you?
Well, the theme, I would say, is listening. That the prefects from the congregations that we've met with, all of them, said that they want to listen. They want to hear from us what's happening in the church in the United States and what our questions and concerns are. And they've been very affirming and supportive of our work as bishops in the United States.
A group of U.S. bishops, including yourself, are meeting with Pope Francis tomorrow. Each bishop has the opportunity to ask a question. What would you like to ask the Holy Father, and what do you hope to hear from him?
Well, on that, I have a question I want to ask him, but it's to be a very private conversation, a conversation where we can speak frankly and he can speak frankly to us. But one thing I want to say to him is to remind him that in just a week I'll be in Washington, D.C. for the March for Life and celebrating the Vigil Mass and just how important the cause of life is in our country and what a powerful movement it is, and particularly all that we do to accompany women in difficult pregnancies. So that's part of what I want to not so much a question, but just to share with him and tell him that he'll be in our prayers during that important event in our country.
After all these meetings, what would you like to bring back to your diocese?
Well, I hope I come back with a renewed zeal. And one of the important parts of it is to pray here where we're in St. Paul's at the tomb of St. Paul, as well as the tomb of Peter, and to pray that I might have the same zeal and same conviction to proclaim the gospel today in Northeast Kansas that they had. And Cardinal Theodore reminded us that we should walk around the ruins of Rome and recall that this was a pagan center for when Peter and Paul came here, and they didn't have television, they didn't have social media, they didn't have the internet, but just by their witness, they changed that pagan culture with the truth and the beauty and the power of the gospel. And that's our challenge today as well in different circumstances.
On a different note, former Cardinal Theodore McCarrick lived in a Kansas friary starting in 2018 and then recently moved out. As a shepherd of a Kansas flock, how did the faithful respond to his presence and then him leaving?
Well, you know, I think people had a lot of questions, but I admire Bishop Vinke for his willingness to do that, because it brought some criticism, but I think it was a true act of compassion on his part. And, you know, I think we pray for Theodore McCarrick, we pray for his conversion, Kansas is always known for its hospitality, so we provide hospitality to one and all.
Well, Archbishop Joseph Naumann from the Archdiocese of Kansas City, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tracy. God bless, and thanks for your work and ministry.